What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College baseball, Georgia Bulldogs versus Mississippi State Bulldogs, Game 2. This is part of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Georgia leads the series at 1-0 after a insane game. Like, holy crap, game one was insane. Like, what the heck? Yeah, so Georgia's 3 in nation, 50-12 record. Mississippi State's 14 nation, 43-18 record. This game's at Georgia. First stats, Georgia's higher batting average, has more runs, hits, home runs, higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks as hits or innings pitched. More walks, Mississippi State is more strikeouts. So with these stats, Georgia's a batting advantage, Mississippi State is a pitching advantage. So those will offset. So I think home field advantage would then be the big thing here. So I think Georgia will beat Mississippi State to move on to the College World Series. USC Trojans versus North Carolina Tar Heels, Game 3. This is part of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Series is tied 1-1, so whoever wins Game 3 moves on to the College World Series. USC's unranked 48-17 record. North Carolina's 5 nation 49-12-1 record. First stats. Well, this game's at North Carolina. First stats. North Carolina has a higher batting average, has more runs. Um, USC is more hits, home runs. North Carolina's higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks as hits or innings pitched. More walks. USC has more strikeouts. With these stats, USC is a batting advantage and pitching advantage. So I say, despite the home field advantage that North Carolina has, with the batting and pitching advantage, I think USC will beat North Carolina to move on to the World Series. Alabama Crimson Tide versus St. John's Red Storm, Game 2. This is part of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Um, this Bama's winning the series 1-0. If they win Game 2, they move on to College World Series. If St. John's wins the series tied, goes on to Game 3. Bama is 7 nation, 41-19 record. St. John's is unranked, 69-49 record. This game's at Bama. For stats, St. John's a higher batting average. Bama has more runs. St. John's has more hits. Bama has more home runs. St. John's a higher on-base percentage. Bama's a higher slugging percentage. St. John's a higher ERA. More walks as hits and range pitched. More walks, Bama has more strikeouts. With these stats, neither side I would say has a batting advantage, but Bama has a pitching advantage. So with the pitching advantage and the home field advantage, I think Alabama will beat St. John's. Kansas Jayhawks versus Oklahoma Sooners, Game 2. This is part of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Oklahoma is leading the series 1-0. If they win Game 2, then they move on to College World Series. If Kansas wins, series is tied and goes on Game 3. Um, so Kansas is 15 nation, 45-17 record. Oklahoma's unranked, 37-22 record. This game's at Kansas. For stats, Kansas is a higher batting average, has more runs, hits, home runs, higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks as hits or innings pitched. Oklahoma has more walks. Kansas has more strikeouts, so Kansas has a batting and pitching advantage. So with these stats and the home field advantage, I think Kansas will beat Oklahoma to tie the series at 1-1. Next is Longhorns versus Oregon Ducks, Game 2. This is part of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Texas won Game 1, so if they win Game 2, they move on to College World Series. If Oregon wins, series is tied, and the series goes Game 3. Texas is 6 in nation, 44-13 record. Oregon's 11 nation, 43-17 record. This game's at Texas. For stats, Texas is a higher batting average, has more runs. Oregon has more hits, home runs. Texas is a higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA. Oregon has more walks as hits, range pitched. Oregon has more walks and strikeouts. With these stats, Oregon's a batting advantage, but I would say neither side is a pitching advantage. So, yeah, I would say despite the home field advantage that Texas has with the pitching advantage, I think Oregon will beat Texas to tie the series at 1-1. MLB. Chicago White Sox versus Philadelphia Phillies. The White Sox have a 45.1% chance to win. The Phillies have a 54.9% chance to win. This is at Philadelphia. For starting pitchers for the White Sox, David Sandlin has a career ERA of 8.1, WHIP of 1.3. Now, he's only pitched in 10 innings in his career. For the Phillies, Aaron Nola has a career ERA of 3.89, WHIP of 1.16. He's had a lot longer career than Sandlin. So with experience and with numbers, it's a good pitcher for Nola, not really good pitcher for Sandlin. So definite starting pitching advantage for the Phillies. For injuries for the White Sox, Jordan Hicks and Noah Schultz are on 15-day IL. Everson Piera, Austin Hayes are on 10-day IL. Kyle Teals on 60-day IL for the Phillies. Carson DeMartini, Brian Rincon, and Renee Pinto on 7-day IL. Dale Robert and Mark Colosveri are on 60-day IL. For stats, White Sox have a higher batting average, have more runs, hits, home runs, higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks as hits, innings pitched, more walks. Phillies have more strikeouts, and a higher opponent batting average. With these stats, White Sox have a batting advantage, but Phillies have a pitching advantage. So those will offset. So with the starting pitching advantage and the home field advantage, I think the Phillies will beat the White Sox. Pittsburgh Pirates versus Atlanta Braves. The Pirates have a 39.2% chance to win. The Braves have a 60.8% chance to win. This is at Atlanta. Um, for starting pitchers for the Pirates, Bubba Chandler has a career ERA of 4.58, WHIP of 1.3. And for the Braves, Bryce Elder has a career ERA of 4.28, WHIP of 1.31. So that's not really good pitching for either team. Not really significant difference here. For injuries, for the Pirates, Near Mosqueda, Sean Sullivan, Anthony Solometo are on 6-day IL. Mike Clevenger is on 7-day IL, and Connor Griffin's on 10-day IL for the Braves. Michael Harris II is day-to-day. Blake Berhalter's on 7-day IL. Kyle Farmer and Drake Baldwin are on 10-day IL, and Hurston Waldrop are on 6-day IL. For stats, the Braves have a higher batting average, have more runs. Pirates have more hits. Braves have more home runs. Pirates have a higher on-base percentage. Braves have a higher slugging percentage. Pirates have a higher ERA, more walks as hits, innings pitched, more walks, and more strikeouts, and higher opponent batting average. With these stats, the Braves have a batting advantage. Neither side, I would say, is a pitching advantage. So with the batting advantage, the home field advantage, I think the Braves will beat the Pirates. Washington Nationals versus Arizona Diamondbacks. The Nationals have a 44.7% chance to win. The Diamondbacks have a 55.3% chance to win. This is at Arizona. For starting pitchers for the Nationals, Cade Cavalli has a career ERA of 4.28, WHIP of 1.46. And for the Diamondbacks, Mike Soroka has a career ERA of 3.8 and a WHIP of 1.22. So that's some good pitching for Soroka. Not really good pitching for Cavalli. So definitely starting pitching advantage for the Diamondbacks. For injuries for the Nationals, Tyler Baum, Josiah Gray, Trevor Williams, Jarlin Toussaint are on 6-day IL. Jake Irvin's on 15-day IL for the Diamondbacks. Ildemaro Vargas is day-to-day. Spencer Giesing's on 7-day IL. Taylor Clark is on bereavement. Jordan Lawlar and AJ Puck are on 6-day IL. For stats, the Nats have a higher batting average, have more runs, hits, home runs, higher on-base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks as hits, innings pitched, more walks, strikeouts, higher opponent batting average. With these stats, Nationals have a batting advantage, but neither side has a pitching advantage. So with that, so you have starting pitching and batting will offset. So I think home field advantage would then be the big thing here. So I think the Diamondbacks will beat the Nationals. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.